Hello, namaste, and welcome to Yoga for Amputees. This is day 5, our first yoga pose, mountain pose. I'm Marsha Therese Danzig, the founder of Yoga for Amputees. So to begin any yoga practice, you're going to need a couple of things, especially for amputees. You definitely need a floor so that you can feel some stability. A wall is really great for a yoga for amputee, for a yoga for amputee practitioner. And I actually like a corner of walls so that I can use my hands and my feet and whatever I've got, my back, my bum, all those things. You also want a sturdy chair. It's great to have a yoga block. A yoga strap or an old tie is really good. And I strongly encourage you to get some blankets or have some blankets available and some pillows. All right? So today we're going to keep it kind of easy. And we're just going to learn our mountain. I'm going to teach it in 2 ways. I'm going to teach it standing, and I'm a below knee amputee, unilateral, and give you some variations if you're a BK bilateral or AK bilateral, or unilateral, and some variations on the floor without your prosthesis. Each of you is different. You have your own prosthetics. You have your own ways of getting in and out of situations, so I'm not going to focus so much on the transitions, except for once we're there. So to begin with mountain pose, for an amputee, the most wonderful thing that yoga offers is alignment. And I don't know if you can see, but when I'm standing still, my left knee is actually bent so that my hips are aligned. And that's the most important thing. So you want to make sure that your hips are in line with your shoulders, and your shoulders are in line with your hips, okay? This is sort of your core practice. If you're working as a below knee amputee, then, and this is for a prosthetic wear, your feet are going to be parallel underneath the hips. And again, depending on your prosthesis, you might need to bend one knee or the other. The most important thing is that you don't injure yourself, hyperextend anything, around your spine, over arch. Okay, all those things are really important. I'm going to show you from 2 directions. So in a regular yoga class, if you're not an amputee, teachers will often start the yoga pose talking about the feet up. So for us, we need to find our feet differently. So I believe the feet is really about the internal structure of us. So as I mentioned in centering, I consider the sits bones, or 2 little bones at the bottom, to be like your feet. You want them to be sinking down, heels spread back, toes spread forward. Your tailbone is tucked just a little bit, and your pubic bone is drawing back. And just like in centering, there's a sense of this inner lightning bolts. Shoulders roll back, and the breath is easy. What makes this pose simple and yet challenging are 2 things. Number 1, there's a lot of energy involved in staying solid on the ground, making sure that all the muscles are wrapping around the bones of the legs, that the tailbone is always tucked and the pubic bone's drawing back, that the ribs are lifting off the hips, and that the front of the ribs draw back. And then we have that beautiful breath we did in our breathing, from the belly to the ribs to the chest. The collarbone stays open, and the chin is parallel. Everything comes from the root up. So we breathe in, and we breathe out. Breathe in, and breathe out. Feel the weight of your lower body sinking down into the ground and the lightness of your upper body as you open to mountain. Mountains are strong, somewhat immovable, and represent the highest within ourselves. Appreciate your journey as an amputee and all that you do on a daily basis to achieve your highest. Now moving down to the floor, I'm going to show you a variation without the prosthesis. I have here my blanket. just going to take my prosthesis off for a few minutes. Keep my little plastic on there. And what we want to do with the seated mountain is extend the legs out. Now, I don't know if you can see here, but one leg is actually a little bit too low. That would be my stump. So I'm going to place a blanket underneath that leg so that my knees are even, my hips are even. I can feel that by rocking on my sits bones, by noticing how my spine is. If you feel like you're slouching, you're going to take another blanket and put it underneath your bottom, just at the edge of your sits bones. And it's the same principle. It's the feeling of reaching down into the ground with the legs heavy and the energy going all the way down and out. And then the lightness of the upper body expanding. Breathe in and breathe out. Breathe in and breathe out. If this feels uncomfortable for you, you can actually lean against a couch so that you get extra support from your back, or you can lean against a wall. Thank you.